I've got the Eyebiter. I forgot to tell you that he is in there too. I can't believe that. I can't believe I forgot to tell you about him. He's in there too, by the way. So I don't think anything's happened to him. He's still in there. I just completely forgot to mention him. Welcome back to the Herd Wave and to this week's video. So as you can see, the tank behind me, it's changed. It's completely different to what it is normally. That might be a little bit of an exaggeration. Still got the same decor in. It does, however, have different fish in it. Now, couple of reasons why. The main one, the elephant in the room, we will address. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna come out and say it. I'm gonna rip the band-aid off. The trophies that I had in there, the red rainbows, they decided to get bloat. It's not their fault. Trophies do tend to suffer from bloat. They are susceptible to it, and sometimes you can do everything right and keep them in the right conditions, feed them the correct food, and sometimes they just get stressed out and bloat happens. It's one of those things, and unfortunately this is what's happened on this occasion. So I think out of all the trophies I've got, this is only the second group of them that's actually ever suffered from bloat. The Firecrackers, which I did manage to treat, and they're absolutely fine now. They're in with the, who are they in with? They're in with the Maswa, yeah. So those guys recovered perfectly fine, and I haven't had any issues with bloat in that tank since then. And they're still in that tank. The Maswa I just moved over into that tank from another one. And then these guys have suffered from bloat. Now I think it is due to breeding. I think I've got a really aggressive male in there, and I think he's just terrorizing everybody, to be honest. I did have a couple of them show up that unfortunately I'd lost. That wasn't due to bloat, that was due to fighting and aggressiveness. And then I started to notice that a couple of them were starting to suffer from bloat, and I was thinking, this isn't normal breeding behaviour, this is something more, and it's probably something that I'm going to have to address. So what I decided to do was to move them into a smaller tank, essentially a quarantine tank. I don't mean like an itty bitty quarantine tank, I mean like a sufficient quarantine tank for the fish that were in there, but smaller than this one. So I could medicate them, keep an eye on them a little bit more closely, and just so that they were, just to keep them out of where all the action is, if that makes sense, because they are in my living room at the moment. They've always been in there, so they're used to the interaction. Well, I can't even say that was the case, that they were in a new place, new environment, anything like that. I think it is purely down to breeding. Fighting for dominance, same old story, isn't it? Fighting for the ladies. That is, I believe that is what has actually happened in here. So I have moved them into a small area, quarantine tanks, so I can medicate them, keep an eye on them, and somewhere where it is going to be a lot quieter and I'm going to have a lot less light on them. I think that's probably the best way to go. Hopefully they'll be fine. Hopefully they can recover from this. So that is predominantly one reason why I have done it. So then the second reason why I have new fish in this tank is because you guys know I am building another fish room. I am getting another fish room up and running. Exciting stuff. So that is still in the process now that the weather has decided to perk itself up a bit and be less harsh. Everything's back up and running again. We're all getting sorted, so hopefully it shouldn't be too much longer before I can start moving tanks in there. So I don't know if you guys have been following this channel for a while, you've heard me talk about my display tank. So in the display tank. It is a large tank, but this one's actually bigger, believe it or not. It has more water volume in this one than what it does in the other one. So I thought, well, those are the second largest group of fish that I have. The first group is the blue Zaire Frontosas. So I thought, well, why don't I use this tank for those guys for now? And then if the trophies are on the mend, I could always pop them, I could always switch tanks, they could always go in their tank. So that's what I decided to do. Everybody who was getting along with everybody okay, who was still in that tank, I decided to move into this one. I've got the Burundi Frontosas in here, so that is my breeding pair. If you followed me on this channel for a while, you'll know about Tyrone. He is a beast. He's beautiful. He's a beautiful, beautiful fish. He's not quite as big as the blue Zaire is, but he is younger than those. But yeah, you can see, and those two have bred for me before, and if you can see, they do have their little babies in there who are not so little anymore. Those were in a separate tank, and I thought it was about time that I reunited them because they were large enough now. So I thought this is the perfect opportunity. He's moving tanks because he is a bit of an alpha. I'm not gonna lie. He's he does like to put his foot down, or his fin down, however you want to say it. So he can be quite bossy and quite dominant. So I thought, well, those fish are not going into his tank technically, all going into a new tank. So now was a good time to introduce them in a totally separate tank. So hopefully it should go okay, which so far so good, fingers crossed. And all the other fish that were in that tank have gone in here too. You can see there's a Chilingali in there, quite a fair few of them. Those have grown so big. They are supposed to be green in colour, but they're not going to colour up to green whilst he's in there. It's not going to happen. Super rare fish those are. When the fish room's up and running, I am planning on popping them into their own tank so they can breed, and hopefully they can reproduce, because they are extinct in the wild, which is quite sad. On the flip side, if these can reproduce, hopefully when they reach breeding age that they should start doing that. But in the meantime, they're quite happy in those guys. This is my female VC10, and she is quite an aggressive fish. So I don't know if you can see her dorsal fin, it does have some breakage in it. This was off fighting with a female Eyebiter, and this won't actually heal. He's so gorgeous, so I don't care. Borleyi, you can see him there. Massive. He's so big now. And again, he is another very aggressive fish in there, and still likes to challenge the front for some reason, even though he's a canny age now. And there's also quite a few OBs in here. Now, this isn't a breeding tank, so it's not a big deal that these are in here. See, got prawn in their mouths. Very nice. When I do breed, like say with him, the Eyebiter, he comes out and goes with his ladies, so nothing to worry about. And I almost forgot about him. I really did. And I don't even know how, because he is really one of my favorites. So all in all, it's not really one of those show-stopping tanks that you tend to see, with all the vibrant colours. That isn't really what this tank is about. It's never really been that kind of a tank. It's always been kind of quite subdued in colour, quite mellow, you know. But as my other fish are starting to grow, I will be introducing some new ones. So lots of different ones lined up that are ready to be moved into a bigger tank. I just thought I would just be real about it and say sometimes this happens, especially with trophies. They're so sensitive, and sometimes you can do everything right, keep them in the right water conditions, feed them the correct food that's appropriate for their diets, and sometimes it just happens. They are cichlids at the end of the day. They are aggressive fish, and that's all it takes for their stress levels to just completely blow up, and then this is what happens. So yeah, I just thought I'd be real with you guys and let you know sometimes that happens. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just have measures in place so that you can handle that sort of situation. That's all you can really do, and obviously treat the issues straight on, address it, and hopefully the fish can recover from that. Yeah, so I thought I would just give you a really quick update on what has been happening. Hopefully you guys like this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. Click that notification bell, lets you know every time I upload a video. And with all that being said, don't forget to like, give it a thumbs up, all that jazz, and I will catch you on my next one. Bye now. Subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Click the notification bell because it lets you know every time I upload. Lets you know every time I upload. Oops. Do you just make loads of noise? Don't you jump up there. I've got you placed where she would normally lie. So she's not happy. She's trying to figure out how to get up there, but you were sitting there, so don't worry. Not going to move you. I thought that was going to be the perfect opportunity to reintroduce them all. Reintroduce them? They haven't been introduced. What's the word? You can't even see anybody, can you? That's no good. They're all on that side and mine. Anyway,